Hello and welcome everybody to our Season 2 first race, recruitment race for the truck series coming to Palmetto Racing League by the end of next month. 50-lap race at Thompson. Watching the practice, it's got all the potential to be a really good race. 50 laps on a short track like this isn't going to last very long. Probably a good 30-40 minute race, but it's sure to be filled with plenty of excitement. Not a lot of room for these guys to move under. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a accident or two within the first few minutes of the race starting. Also, don't forget our live stream will also be this evening for our Palmetto State Cup Series race with the Gen 6 cars. Going to be another exciting race at Thompson. Going to probably be similar to this race, I would imagine. The amount of horsepower in the trucks and the Gen 6 cars is right there with one another, so it should also be a action-packed race as well. Look to see what happens here with this recruitment race. It's the same as it was last Wednesday for the MX5 series. Some of these guys are league members, some are not. Majority are outside of the league. That's the point of the recruitment race, is to gauge interest from other drivers to see if they think that the series may be a good fit for them, fitting in with the league. So there's no telling what we're going to see as we get the green flag underway here and kick this race off. Making that first initial push there before hitting them brakes. Got a little bit of contact there on the wall. Got the number 2 truck in the Ford. Spin out already. We haven't even completed a full lap and we've already had a spin out. And that looked like they thought about throwing. Oh wait, we got another accident here, and we're under caution in the first lap. It's like the number 37 there might be a little confused on what he needs to do. The Ford trying to looks like he's trying to give him a little help here. I doubt that's the case, but that's what it looks like. So we are officially under our first caution in the first lap of the race. See a couple of different numbered trucks that we're not used to seeing here. Already a wreck in the first lap of the race. We got 50 of these to do. I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. There are rules in place that during each race, drivers get what they call incident counts. So basically what that means is they usually don't hit you too hard on bumping and rubbing, but contact with the wall, I think they will count being off the track and in the grass as contact or as an incident. During each race, some leagues are different. Palmetto Racing League runs with the stipulation that you can accumulate up to 15 incident points before you get slapped with a penalty. And then, 10 is 10 incident points before you get slapped with a penalty, meaning you'll have to go in the pits, and I think it's usually between 37 to 40 something seconds that you'll have to serve a penalty out. And then after that, every 5 incidents you get hit with another penalty. So you want to keep the contact down to a minimum. Sometimes it's completely unavoidable, which is why they start you off with 10. Kind of give you some grace there, but after 10 it's every 5, and the whole reason for that is to try to cut down on all these senseless cautions. We're back to green again. Number 8 car there with the 83. Look like that. Oh, another spin out. The 66 car. Will it trigger a caution? Looks like we're still green for the moment. Nope, there's the caution. So lap 2, we have another caution. It gets difficult on these little small tracks to try to contain all that horsepower within a track this size, and it. I mean, this is kind of what we expected to see here at Thompson this weekend, and I'm sure that in just a few short hours when we go live again for the Cup Series race, this is going to probably be how it's going to look also. Maybe a slight difference in the Cup Series race this afternoon because it's league members racing with AI, and there's no strangers to the members in those races, so it may be slightly different. Some of these guys jump in these recruitment races, and some take it serious, and some just want to get out there and see what they can do, which is, it's all fine. But we saw some things in practice that made us think that a few of these guys that jumped in this recruitment race might not be trying to be serious about racing. I saw a couple of intentional hits that shouldn't have happened. They were completely avoidable, but it almost looked like they were done intentionally. Got a little bit of scrape there on the side of the number 69 truck. Some of these guys are already getting battle scars, and we're only on lap 2. Definitely going to be an interesting race, to say the least. They're starting out in these cautions with single file, and they'll end up moving, like you see here, back into double file just before the pit truck, excuse me. Done gotten used to the Cup Series having cars all the time. Before the pace car goes off and the green flag is waved, they go back to double file. So let's see if we can make it a few laps with no incidents this time. Lap 2 and second caution of the race. And the roar of the engines there, they're getting ready to go green. And here we go, they're off. Third lap. A couple of them getting loose there in that turn. Easy to do when you got to get the throttle. I mean, that's it goes without saying. You got to have throttle as much as you can on the straightaways, but you really got to caution it in these turns. Things can get messy real quick. He got a little squirrely there, but he caught it. So far, so good. We're on lap 4. Let's see if we can hit a couple of different drivers with some of the in-cab action. Kind of show you what these guys are looking at here. This is in the cab of the 19 truck. You hear him hitting that straightaway, and then it's almost like once you get the RPMs up real high there, you got to start applying the brake, or you're going to have a disaster on your hand. It definitely can create some problems. Let's get some suspension view in there, right up in the action. Look at that. Inches within each other. Quite a few times in the practice session, a lot of these guys were going 3 wide. I just knew. I mean, even though it's practice, you still expect that 3 wide on a track this small is not. It's not ideal. It can be done. These guys actually, even in the practice, they did very well with holding it together and not having any. I don't even think they really touched. Just real tight turns and lane control, holding that line. Travis Sullenberger there in the number 66 truck, trying to gain on the pack. Got the rest of them not too far behind him there. A little gap, not much. You can really make up the time in the turns if you play your cards right and you let go of the throttle at the right time and start applying the brake. You can really make up the time, because in the straightaways it gets kind of difficult. It's about that throttle response. Everybody hits the straightaway, they're going to be going full throttle, so it's kind of hard to make up any time. But if you work the magic just right in them turns, you can cut off a couple of seconds each turn, and sometimes that's enough to get you up there out front. Sometimes it's not. It really just depends. We have made it to lap 11 of 50, so we've got some consecutive laps in here with no cautions, which is really good. Cautions in this particular sense with Palmetto Racing League, they tend to not have the laps count during cautions. So you got a 50-lap race and you got 20 cautions within the first 30 laps. It's going to really drag that race out. Average caution lap, you usually make 3 to 4 laps around on a track this size before they go green again. So, for these guys that they sit every caution out on the track and never hit pits, once you start getting to lap 40 out of 50 with a lot of cautions in a race, you got to start wondering how that fuel meter's looking. And they're starting these races on 100% fuel, and they get 2 tire changes. So you got 2 sets of tires to work with. And short tracks, they tend to eat up and do a number on them tires. All the braking and accelerating quickly, it tends to do a number on them. So 2 tire changes sounds like a lot, and in a 50-lap race it can be, but again you have to look at those cautions too, because during cautions, even though things are a little slower paced, you're still making laps out there on them tracks, especially if you got to pass a couple of cars to get, we got another spin out on the 2. Is it going to trigger a caution? I don't think so. It looks like we're going to stay green. Okay. All right, we'll take it. Maybe. Looks like everybody's kind of slowing down. It might just be them trying to get back in the grooves. Nope, there's the caution. Well, I guess we're staying green. I'm just going to pause on that for a second, because it seems like every time I say what we're doing, they take it back or something. Like, definitely looks like the caution's gonna stick this time. These guys right here are playing catch up. Get back in that single file order before they head back double file. So we are gonna take the caution. Lap 16 of 50. We are going to take a moment. We hate to tear you from the action for a second. Promise you won't miss too much. We're gonna hit take a minute here and shout out our sponsors, and we will be back shortly. Today's sponsor spotlight is for Working Man Outdoors. Real experiences, real results, real affordable. They're not here to sell you a fantasy, they're here to give you the real deal. Working Man Outdoors brings working class outdoor adventures to your level and your budget. Experience duck hunts with all the thrills, none of the fluff. Located in Southwest Louisiana, give them a call today and book your hunt. 843-919-0405. Working Man Outdoors, where hard work meets wild reward. And And we are back live for the action. Told you guys we wouldn't miss too much. We're still under caution. Should be going green here momentarily. I had speculated this was gonna be a action-packed race with lots of. Well, let me rephrase that. I expected there to be several cautions, and that's just the nature of the beast there. But just how many cautions we see during this race. We are back green. 17th lap of this 50-lap race. You see some of these guys haven't hit pits, and 17 laps in, there's a little wear on the tires, but honestly, you could, as long as you didn't have any damage to the truck itself, it's doable to stay out and not hit pit road during cautions, because honestly, 17 laps in, them tires are just getting good and warmed up. See them grouping together there. 73, 25, 18, 300, 8 truck, 301 truck. Getting that what I like to call that accordion effect. Staying pretty close to each other there for the most part. Leaderboard, and it's kind of stayed consistent. We got the number 71 leading in that first position. See that precision in that turn there, just it 2 wide is okay, but that 3 wide, I'm sure I might see it right here. No, not quite. I thought they were going to have a 3 wide there for a second. Well, there's partially 3 wide. It's very questionable. A lot of times on a track this size, you're going to see one of those guys is most likely going to, there's a 3 wide there. Somebody's going to get sketched out and kind of back it down a little bit just to avoid the possibility of having another caution. The 83 there. Getting kind of close to the bumper. Got the 83 hugging that inside shoulder. Still there. Definitely been an interesting race so far. We're almost at the halfway point, 1 lap away from it. These guys are really getting it in out here. Again, we want to mention, don't forget about the race this evening. This is not our league race. This is a recruitment race. The scheduled league race is still scheduled for this evening. It is race number 8, I believe, out of 13. So we are almost ready to wrap up the season, and the truck season here for the truck series is going to be taking place of the normal cup races with the Gen 6 cars. So once we wrap up that 13th race at Myrtle Beach, I think the league is taking a 2-week break from starting the next series. So I believe it is the 2nd week of September. Like I said, bear with me here, because nothing's set in stone. I'm just kind of letting you guys know and fill you in as I hear the news of what's being talked about. But I believe the season 2 is set to start within the 2nd week of September, that Saturday. So just like I said, stay posted to the social media channels. All that news as it comes in and actually gets set in stone gets passed out through those social media feeds. So just keep your eye on those. But the truck series here will be taking place of the Cup cars during season 2. So It's going to bring a wider array of tracks. From what it's looking like, I've seen a preview of the possible schedule. There's you're still going to have the NASCAR Cup Series tracks, but they're throwing some wrenches in the plan with a couple of road courses. Last weekend's actual NASCAR race on Sunday was Sonoma, if I'm remembering correctly, and it's a really cool course to watch because it's not your typical another left turn setup. It's lefts with some rights and straightaway here, curve here. It adds a challenge, and it's something that the drivers really have to focus on. It's not your typical NASCAR Cup track, and there's several others that are going to be thrown in the mix. Supposedly, again, none of it's set in stone yet, but there are going to be some wrenches thrown in there. I've heard the possibility of a couple of dirt tracks, and watching the race here, we've first several laps of the race we had cautions each lap, just because the size of the track. I think, well, there's another one as we speak. 73, that's most likely definitely going to be another caution. We're already having all these cautions on a short track because of all the trying to contain all that horsepower into a smaller track. Now you take these same trucks and you throw them on a dirt track, and the traction gets even worse. It's gonna make for an interesting series, but that's the point of it. It's not only going to become about who has the fastest car, but it's also going to have to tie in skill to, offset just having speed. It's going to be more skill related, and then again, not set in stone, but they're talking about possibly putting limiters in there. Kind of like this race here where these guys only have 2 sets of tires. Another limiter they're talking about adding on top of the 2 sets of tires is possibly reducing the fuel. They're starting the races with 100% fuel in the tank. Season 2's races with the truck series might not start out with 100, may start out with 50 or 30% fuel, causing these guys to have to implement a pit strategy into their plan. And timing that out just right. If you've watched any NASCAR races, you know that fuel can really make or break you in the strategy, because they tend to play around with it sometimes also. And you can have one driver who led 75% of the race in first place, and then all because of, I got to pull off and get fuel, drops all the way to the back, has to fight for that position again. And a lot of times they don't make it there. So those kind of things are they're looking at trying to incorporate those in some of these races to keep the excitement up, keep it, varied. So whoever comes away with those points at the end of the race, they legitimately earned those points. They not only got out there and raced and gave it their all, but they really thought about how they were going to win this race. So just some things to keep in mind, and hopefully give you a glimpse of something to look forward to. Season 1 has been great so far. Like I said, this is going to be the 8th race in of a 13-race season. It's been really exciting. It's been really cool to watch this league really grow, and going back and looking at some of the first races, even with the overlays. They started out really basic looking, and now, we've got a ticker. We've got an identifier to let you know what car we're looking at for a reference. We've got the map down in the bottom so you can see everyone's position all at the same time. Like it's really grown in just I think we're coming up right on the 2-month mark. So it's been really interesting to see. We went from having another spin out by the 73, 17 laps to go. It's really interesting to see where this is headed, because even back in the first several races we didn't even have commentary. You were just watching the cars go around on the track, and a couple of them races you didn't even have the reference indicator up there in the top right, and you definitely didn't have the ticker, so you just kind of were looking at a car trying to figure out what position they were in, because you really didn't know. Now all the guesswork's been taken away. You have commentary. I get on here and ramble about upcoming stuff in the league and try to keep everyone updated, and of course the occasional commercial break. But for the most part, no matter what I'm on here talking about or rambling on about, you got that ticker that keeps you updated with the position. So if you're really interested in keeping up with it and want to see the progress of everybody, you got it right there in front of you. Of course, you're going to hear my mouth talking about the wrecks and trying to just keep you informed and best I can on what's going on, what everybody's got to look forward to with the league, because these guys are really trying to do big things. And I think once more members get into the league, and as I've said before, we can kind of phase out AI and get actual drivers out there on the track, real people out there really racing. It tends to heighten drama, the suspense, because of course if their families are watching the broadcast, their families want them to win the race and their friends want them to win. And with these guys having the open Discord where anybody can be in, it's potential for some drama to start happening and tensions to get high on the track. You're not going to get that with AI. With AI being out, these guys, like I said before, they don't care if they wreck, they don't care if they spin you out, they don't care if they spin themselves out. They're out there to fill slots so that we're not looking at the same two cars rolling around the track at any given time. So things are starting to get interesting. Definitely. We are back green finally, so we are 16 to go before the checkered flag, and we got another spin out. Looks like he lost a bit of his tailgate there. Number 300 in the Ford. Yep, he definitely did. I don't remember that being just straight white like that. And we are back under caution. I'm going to definitely have to look at the results again after this race is over and see just how many cautions we had, because this seems like this race has been plagued with cautions. Well, while we're under this caution, we're going to take another minute to shout out our sponsors and join you back with the race here shortly. Hopefully we'll be going green again. Today's sponsor spotlight is for Working Man Outdoors. Real experiences, real results, real affordable. They're not here to sell you a fantasy, they're here to give you the real deal. Working Man Outdoors brings working class outdoor adventures to your level and your budget. Experience duck hunts with all the thrills, none of the fluff. Located in Southwest Louisiana, give them a call today and book your hunt. 843-919-0405. Working Man Outdoors, where hard work meets wild reward. All right, we are back again and still under caution. 16 laps to go when we go back green. So we'll be, hopefully, long as no more cautions happen, we'll be wrapping this one up shortly. It's definitely been an interesting race, to say the least. It has been riddled with cautions, but still been a good race. Leaderboard, it kind of still looks the same. I guess I can't really be surprised. They haven't really. I mean, we did have about 10 laps there that were uninterrupted with a caution, but again, the short tracks are really tough to battle it out. Number 71 has been holding that lead. Pretty much a little bit of contact from the 83 there in the wall, and was that turn 2? 71's been holding that lead pretty much the duration of this race. I just don't think that in the time that we have been green, it's been enough for him to really get up there and try to, for any of them really, to try to compete with that 71 truck. He's probably putting the distance there time the green flag drops, so it makes it a little hard to play catch up. But if you're in that first position, you've obviously got your lap times down to where you want them, and you're doing what you need to do to be able to put that distance between you and the rest of the pack. So it's probably a lot of what it is that's going on. He's getting that lead early and keeping his distance from the others. So either way, the recruitment races, they're really just a fun opportunity for you to get out there, fill the league out, kind of see, what they're about, how they're running things, so you can, really get a feel for the way things are run. Because I've seen other drivers talking about it in other leagues time and time again, and several of the groups, we got 3 wide going there, several of the groups that I'm a part of, and a lot of these leagues, and it's another thing that these guys are trying to keep from happening. They start out with the league and things run smooth for the first couple of weeks, and then they start having issues. And one of the biggest issues that a lot of them talk about is feeling like the leagues aren't run fairly. And you really, as a league owner, you want to avoid having your members feel like that, because it doesn't feel like a very welcoming environment. And that's PRL is really trying to steer clear of stuff like that. They want these guys to have fun and enjoy it while they're out racing, and the racetrack's no place for the stuff like that. Keep things fair, even playing field for everybody. We're down to 8 laps to go, and 71 is still holding that first place win, or first place position. We're going to see if it turns into a win. It's kind of looking like it. 7 laps to go. Keep these cautions at bay and wrap this thing up, and hopefully you'll be back joining us again this evening as we broadcast our cup cars this evening for our league race. Again, stay tuned to the social media channels also, because the other series that's going to be running in season 2 is our MX5 series, another brand new series. If you were with us last Wednesday and watched the recruitment race for that, it's another one of those interesting little series that, a lot of road courses, and it's a lot different from what you're used to seeing with the typical NASCAR race and different series of cars. Those little MX5s, they're fun to watch. They are a lot slower. Another wreck. And yeah, we're definitely going to be under caution for that, as they take a minute to clear the track with just 4 laps to go. 4 laps, and I think we are probably inching. I haven't even been keeping count because it's hard, but if I had to throw a number out there, we're probably inching close to 10 cautions this race already. Gotta be close to it. I mean, we had 2 consecutively back to back within the first 2 laps. But back to the MX5 series, there will be another recruitment race on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Track and stuff has not been decided yet. Honestly, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk on it. With the truck series, they're going to keep the truck series recruitment race. They're going to keep those following what's going on in the league's cup race. So this race here, the recruitment race that we're watching right now, they kept it with the same track as what the cup race is already doing. So it was at Thompson. I gotta look at the schedule here and see what the next race. I haven't looked that far ahead, but the recruitment race will still be next Saturday, but the time that it will run for the second recruitment race will be opposite of the Cup Series cars. So the next race is going to be at Daytona next Saturday, and it has a start time of probably 4 p.m. It'll be going green flag live at 4 p.m. So the recruitment race here for the trucks will be after that. So it'll most likely be an evening race. So just stay tuned for that on the social media feeds. All of that info will be posted there. So we'll be getting that information out to everyone as it becomes available. The MX5 series, looks like we're getting ready to go back green here. The MX5 series is going to stick with since it's a series in its own, and it's not going to be replacing an already existing series. It will probably have a stream time for the MX5s of 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 10. So you can pretty much bank on that. The recruitment races for the truck series are what's going to vary because they're doing their recruitment races the opposite time of the cup races for the league, so that it whoever they may attract for the truck series will already be in the habit of races fluctuating from day races to night races. So they'll already be used to it not being the same setup every time. We are down to 1 lap to go. I do believe we are out of the woods for any more cautions. I don't want to speak too soon on that. And it looks like the 71 has taken the win for this race at Thompson Motor Speedway in the 71 Toyota Tundra. So overall, pretty action-packed race today. I honestly, we did have a lot of cautions. I'm kind of shocked that we didn't have more. Still had a lot, but it still was a doable race. And even with 50 laps and all the cautions that we've seen, it still kept the race under an hour, so that worked out. So cool. That was good. Again, we will be back live again this evening for the Cup race, and hope to see you again this evening for our